Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tea and Scones. Today is Monday, the 20th of April, 2020. And I just want to start off by saying, with this whole concept's about starting off the day with gratitude, positivity, and getting the week off on the right foot. And I'm just looking behind me here, and I guess it probably doesn't get much better. This beautiful day outside. There's people out surfing, and it's just a wonderful place to live. Wonderful time to be alive at the moment, and that being the operative word. And I think it's important that, with all that's happening on the news, what's happening around the world at the moment, that we take the opportunity to make sure we focus on what is working in our life, not just what isn't working. And we need to really reflect on the good things that are happening in our lives to get our mindset right, and to start the week off in a positive way so that you can achieve great things during the week. I'm just going to preempt up front the piece of rope behind me. There's men working on the building today. There could be people going up and down. There could be a whole lot of noise starting at any moment as they're trying to cut away the cancer in the building, but it's for a great purpose, because it means I hope that wasn't someone falling off the building, that rope moving, but it means the building's going to look fantastic when they finish. They're repainting and doing all those sorts of things. So today you've got me, and I just want to kick off and talk about one of the concepts that I've used ever since I started doing the Strategic Coach program, which was way over 20 years ago. I did 17 years going over to mostly Chicago, sometimes Toronto, Vancouver a few times to attend quarterly full-day workshops for the Strategic Coach. And one of the first things we learned was a tool called the positive focus. Now, I know we've put up the link to this in previous episodes when I was talking with Shannon Waller, and I'll put it up again today. But there's a great tool on the resources page for Strategic Coach, and it talks very much about doing a positive focus. And the reason we do this, and I try and do this every meeting I have, and certainly every day, is to take the opportunity to focus on the progress you've made, to take the opportunity to focus on things that are working. Because it's very easy for us to get caught up in the things that aren't working. It's very easy at the end of the day to say, oh, gee, it would have been a great day but for. And instead, I think it's just a mindset switch, is to turn that around and say, well, okay, it was a great day today because I got these 2 or 3 things done. And we have a practice of trying to focus every day on saying, okay, what are the 3 greatest wins that you've had through the day? In fact, Strategic Coach has an iPhone and Android app for that called the Win Streak, which you can download, and it just helps you get into the practice of saying, okay, what is working at the moment? What are the 3 big wins we've had today? And you can go back and do it over a 1-day period, a 1 week, a month or 3-month period, and say, what are the greatest things that have happened? And certainly for myself, once again last night I got to babysit the grandkids. So even though I'm pretty much isolating these days, so is my daughter and her kids pretty much, and we're very careful. And so I had the 2 grandkids over last night, which for me is massively important things. The hugs and the connecting with children and grandchildren is just such an important part of keeping us all sane, I think, at the moment in isolation. Second thing for me, and I'm just looking back over the last week here, is that graphic artists, Amy and Brooke Dorrit, have been doing some great work for me in regard to some of the tools and capabilities that we're putting together. And that's been a huge sense of progress for me, and it's certainly a very positive part of my confidence is having people who are resources to me that have a unique ability that just creates wonderful capabilities for me. We've been doing more work. I've been doing more work on putting our business online to replicate what I do on a one-on-one basis for clients. I think during these times, all businesses are learning that we've got to be more of an online presence. So I've been spending time doing that. Just following up, more people have been giving me very generously video testimonials, which are going onto another new website, which Amy and Brooke are putting together for me at the moment. In fact, I'm probably more excited about that than anything else. It just looks so great. It's a website, and I think in these days where we aren't having the opportunity to meet one-on-one face-to-face with people and shake hands and so on. We need to look at ways, especially from a business point of view, of instilling the confidence in clients that may be looking to deal with us. If they can't look at us, shake our hands, look in our eyes and see that we're decent, honest people, what I'm doing is going through with the help of the Dorrits, Amy and Brooke, is creating a website which will have lots of video testimonials, free giveaways, certainly expand on the capabilities that we have, show people copies of books, allow them to get copies of books that we've written, so people can see who I am, what I do, and what my capability is. And so I'm really excited about that, the testimonials I'm getting and the work Amy and Brooke are doing. And the final one is I'm still managing to get in good exercise each day. Not this morning, I had the kids over last night, so I didn't have time to go anywhere. They were wanting my attention and I was wanting theirs this morning, but basically every other day for the last 10 days I've been really focusing on health and getting to the gym. So, these are, just going through those, I just feel so good about the fact, I know that was all about me. What I'm suggesting you do is do that for yourself. Like, what are the things that are working in your life that you've made progress on? And these aren't things where you say, it would have been better if, but whatever. And please excuse the hammering outside. I hope it's not coming through too loudly here. But when you do a positive focus, it's just on the progress. Don't let the negative words come in and say, well, it would have been great if that hadn't happened. Just focus on what you have achieved, what you have done. And, just going through that list that I just have with you now, I just feel so good having read that out, because what that has done has given me a whole lot of confidence in regard to what I know I can get done this week. And I'm isolating here, so I know I've got lots of things I can get done and make a whole lot of extra progress this week, based on the fact that I feel really good about what's already happened, reflecting back. And that's why you do a positive focus, because it actually gives you confidence and courage and allows you to move forward in regard to creating new capabilities for this week. And so when you do your positive focus, say, so for example, on health, you say, well, okay, that was a great thing, I've been doing that. What do I need to keep doing so that next week I'm just as excited about that as I am right now? And so, from your positive focus, you say, what are the next steps I need to make? What do I need to keep doing? What are the extra things? Do I need to bring in an extra resource, an extra person to help me, or whatever, in regard to some of the things that we've been doing? So I really commend the positive focus to you. Just take 5 minutes. I wrote it out again this morning. It just takes 5-10 minutes maximum to sit down and just go through, write down, what's the achievement you've made over, could be, as say, the last week or the last month. What's the achievement you made? What's the reason why that was a great achievement? What's any further progress you can make? And what's the next thing you need to do? So what's the first action you need to take to keep moving that progress forward? And do that with a maximum of 5 things. 3 is plenty. If you want to get excited and do 5, then 5's a good number as well. But as I say, write down what it is and get the confidence from the progress that you've made, the confidence to move forward with something really great for this week coming. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about today was just to go through and look at what are you doing in regard to gratitude. Gratitude's one of the really big things in regard to scary times such as this, as well as keeping a really positive attitude and focusing on what is working in your life. It's a great opportunity for you to start thinking about gratitude. Now, gratitude can be from anything anybody does for you or whatever, or you can create proactive gratitude in ways as well. But one of the examples, and I've talked about this before, and I'll just reiterate it here, that the thing that I do each day, and I've done it already this morning, is to just go through, and I have 5 triggers that I talk about when I focus on gratitude, and I do this every day. The first thing is, what am I grateful for in regard to my family and friends? So it could be, for example, this morning I'm really grateful that Angela and Sue dropped the kids off to me yesterday, and I got to have the kids, from about 1 o'clock, 1:30 yesterday, right through to about 8 o'clock this morning. And I just got to spend all that time with these two little girls, and it was just fantastic. I'm so grateful that I've had that opportunity. I'm so grateful that, you know, I have that family around me. But specifically today, it was about I'm grateful for my own children and my grandchildren. Second thing I focus on is where I live. So what is it about today? What can I say where I live? Well, I've already talked about this. I'm just looking out on the screen here behind me, and you know, I'm just so grateful for the fact that I live in Australia. I mean, you know, we are blessed, genetically blessed, to have been lottery winners to be living here in Australia, living on a great place in Australia. So I'm very grateful for that. Health, you know, I've still got all my capabilities, resources, functions, and so on. I mean, I've had lots of checks over the last year. I've got great health still, and I continue to make sure that that's a priority in my life and the things that I can do because I've got great health. The fourth thing I focus on, and these are my 5 triggers each day, is past experiences. And so what's something that's happened in my past that has made me who I am today, or is just an experience that I can look back on? It might be the fact that I've been on I went on a skiing trip, such and such a place, so-and-so, might be something that I think about today, and I just go, wow, how grateful am I that I had the opportunity to get that experience, and you know, I can relive that time and time again, just thinking back over that experience, and I'm so blessed. I've had so many great experiences in my lifetime, and that's one thing I focus on when I'm doing the gratitude exercise. And the final one is what's the future? I'm grateful for the fact that I've got a future, and I know it's going to be a fantastic future, and I'm grateful for the fact there's exciting things, there's wonderful things going to happen in my life that I don't even know about yet. I've got no idea what they are, but I know there's going to be some fantastic things happen, and I'm going to have fantastic experiences in my life, and so I focus on maybe manifesting something that I'd like to happen, and that's another way for me to be grateful every morning. So I guess asking the question of you is, you know, how often do you consciously sit down yourself and think about what you're grateful for? Do you express gratitude to other people? I mean, none of those were actually where I go and say to somebody, hey, I'm really grateful for something that you've done. But that's the other opportunities you have. I mean, you know, I'm just going through a list here I looked at on the web today. Day 1, write a thank you letter to someone who is important in your life. So, you know, how many of you have sat down and done that? Or is that something that might be a good idea to think about someone who's been important in your life and do that? I remember a number of years ago, you know, I was just going through one of these exercises, and I was thinking about all the people that had really helped me in my business life, professionally, people that had helped me, and I went and got some special cards, and I wrote, it was just 5 people. I thought, okay, I'm going to pick 5 people, and I wrote each of them a heartfelt note and just thanked them for the influence, the help they'd given me in my life. And the reaction was actually interesting. Two of them rang me and said, "Are you okay? You're dying or something. You know, you're like trying to clean up your life before you die or something like that." And I said, no. I just wanted you to know. Which leads me into another concept, and that is funerals. I always find it ironic that people line up at funerals and talk to a coffin and say what a wonderful person that was. And I think, well, what's the point? They can't hear you. What you should do is, and here's a way to show gratitude, is write notes to people before they go. So if somebody does something really valuable in your life, or you're just sitting there reflecting and thinking, wow, you know, if I hadn't met Fred when I did, I wouldn't have had the opportunity, and he taught me this, and this. Write him a note, and you know, it fits in with the please and thank you scenarios, the good manners, which we used to know about and probably aren't as current these days. But here's your opportunity to just bring back some of the really simple things, what we call the referability habits. Express gratitude. Say to people thank you for things that they've done. You have no idea how much that will mean to them when they get a letter from just someone randomly out of the blue for no reason, for no gain. Don't make it conditional. Just make it, you know, I just wanted to say you're a great person and I really appreciate what you did. We did this Mum's 80th birthday, so 10 years ago. a number of us in the family all sat there, and I printed up a special little form and gave them out, and everybody wrote the 3 things they loved the most about grandma or great-grandma or mum or whatever. And so I got them to pick 3 things, and then I said also, what's the one memory that stands out the most? And anyway, they were all written on cards, and a large number of the family filled those cards out. And I know Mum, for ages afterwards, used to have that pile of cards, and she'd just go through and read them. It just meant so much to her to have everyone say things about her which really filled her heart. So what can you do to do that sort of thing for someone in your family? It might be children, it might be your parents, exactly the same thing, whatever. But have a think about how you can express gratitude to someone, and how you can bring forward saying nice things to that person and not waiting until they're not around and can't hear what you would have liked to have said. One of the other ways to these are called gratitude exercises. Just call a close family or friend just to check in and chat. Another one, balance imperfections about someone else with something you appreciate about him or her. And that's a really interesting thing, because sometimes, you can get very hung up on the fact that someone's annoying you for a certain reason or whatever. And so my wisdom for today is sometimes the people that irritate you the most, see what you can find in that person that's really positive and constructive and valuable, and focus on that. So that next time you're talking to that person, or make an effort to talk to that person, focus on the stuff that is really good, valuable and constructive in that relationship you have with that person, rather than dwelling on the negatives. Nobody wants to have conversations with people where they just sit there and say, oh, this is wrong and that's wrong and something else is wrong. Always be thinking, when you're having a conversation with anyone, what are the things that are working? You'll just turn people off if all you ever do is talk about all the shit that's going on in your life, all the stuff that's not working. People don't want to be around negativity, they want to be around positivity. So always be trying to find the good in people. One of the other exercises here is do something that you enjoy. There's no prizes for every day doing something that hurts and is painful and aggravating. Reward yourself every now and again and do something that you enjoy. Another one, write down 3 or more things you're grateful for. Do something for yourself to make yourself smile today. Treat yourself, call a close family friend just to check in, and so on, which tends to go on fairly often in that little exercise that I found on Google. Final thing I wanted to go through today was going back, and we've touched on this before, but I'm really going to commend this too, and I've actually started going through this in a bit more depth this morning, and that is the first 100 days and strategic coach tool once again. And it's talking about what's life going to look like for you the first 100 days after we get out of this. So once the lockup and everything else is all over, let's talk about the first 100 days. And once again, I'll put the link on the site here where you're watching this video. But basically it talks about, and once again I've covered this before, but it talks about what pride, so focus on things from the past that are working for you, what's working right now, and what are you most excited about at the moment, and what are the things that are happening right now that are making you the most excited. So for me, the fact that once again with Amy Dorrit, we're writing my next book, Live Complete, Die Neat. It's going to be a book which actually is my whole estate and succession planning process. It talks about everything we do, all the dangers people face, the way we can help them, and so on. And it's just going to be a significant and a big book to allow people to, if they want to and they think they can, is to go through in some way and do some of this themselves, or at least prepare themselves to really get this sort of stuff sorted. Obviously, they can't do their own legal documents and so on. We always outsource that to estate planning specialists, but I'll show you all the stuff that we do to help people get to that point to make things right for their family. Look, the other thing, and it's just this is, and I got really excited about this on the weekend, was that one of the things for me to motivate people to take action is asking great questions. If I don't ask great questions, people aren't going to be engaged and they're not going to move forward. So I created this little idea and I was just toying with it, and I've committed to come up with 100 questions. And the concept is going to be, and I'm just going to use Instagram, Facebook and so on just to post these, and it's just going to be, let me please ask you a question. And then ask you a question which hopefully cuts through to what's important in your life in regard to your family, in regard to getting yourself structured around your estate and succession planning. And I know I've got 100 questions in me that will be valuable for you and will get you thinking. And my aim is to get you thinking about what's important by asking great questions and helping you discover what are the things that you need to implement to make progress. So my concept is, let me please ask you a question. And I'm going to come up with 100 of these, and we're just going to post those each couple of days on Instagram, Facebook, and so on. And if one of those 100 hits a note with you where you go, wow, that's a great question. Yes, Mark, you've really got me thinking. I haven't got that covered, and I encourage you, and I have created an incentive for you to take action, whether you do something with me or you talk straight to your solicitor, whatever. Then I'll be happy that I've done a good job, because some of you may know that my 25-year goal is to positively affect 1 million families in regard to getting their estate and succession planning sorted, so that if anything happens to them, they don't leave behind a mess, they die neat. Hence the concept, that the name of my next book and so on is very much in the whole series I do in regard to our work is called the Die Neat series. And that's what I would wish for you if something happened. When something happens to you, that you don't leave a mess behind in regard to squabbles in your family and all those sorts of things. So anyway, look, this exercise, the first 100 days. So as you can see there, there's room for your pride, confidence, excitement. And then it says, okay, in the first 100 days, you and your team will be totally focused and prepared to accomplish these extraordinary breakthroughs as soon as the new normal starts. And that just gives you the opportunity to write down 5 things that are going to be very important for you to really hit the ground running when we get back to normal again. So for me, it's to have first one, fully installed an online capability to replicate our human process. Now, there'll always be people that just want to deal with me as a human, and that's fine too. But I think people are going to learn over this period of time more about Zoom calls and so on. And so we need to have a capability that people who want to just do stuff online and do it at their pace have the ability, and I'm doing videos and worksheets, frameworks and all that sort of stuff, so that people can actually go and follow the bouncing ball and get all this stuff sorted as much as possible without human interaction. The second thing is create an automated leads process via Facebook, so that we'll be doing a lot more marketing on Facebook. In times like this where I can't get out into the world and speak at workshops or conferences or seminars or go out and meet people that have been referred to me, I need to find a way to get new people to talk to, and so we're going to be focusing more on automated marketing processes. The third thing, I've already mentioned, this is the Live Complete Die Neat book. We want to have that launched, and that's really going to reflect our whole process. So if people want to sort of check out what I do and how I go through with clients, they can buy the book. It's going to be a significant book, and there's going to be a decent price on it because it is so valuable once I package all that stuff together and we present it well for you. Fourth thing is good health, maintaining exercise. So I want to make sure that even though we're sort of locked in our apartments or homes or wherever, those of us that aren't getting out as much, that I still maintain exercise, good health and so on. And here comes the noise. And the final thing is I'm going to create all my focus on 7 great questions that I ask people. And it's going to be part of our free 30-minute, what we call our starter session, so that people who are thinking of engaging with me, that I've got a really great structure around 7 great questions, which I can ask people, and that will help them to couple of things. One is have confidence in my capability, but two, will help us create a platform to see whether we want to work together or not, and whether they have confidence in my capability. And by asking the questions, I'll be able to see whether I can help those people. But finally, I want to make sure those people want what I do. There's thousands and thousands and millions of people who need what I do. I just want to work with people who want what I do. So and I want to make sure those 7 questions are in a structure for our free 30-minute session, so we can create some real value for people. So they're my 5 things from a business point of view for the first 100 days after we get going. And I'm challenging you to, and please, it's going to be part of the exercise. It's going to be one of the units here in this Facebook page, is for you to be able to download this form, do it, and I'd love for you to come on to one of our next Zoom meetings and talk about what you've learned from doing the exercises and what your outcomes are. Okay. Anyway, look, I hope that's been valuable for you this morning. Certainly, I've enjoyed speaking about those 3 things: the positive focus, the gratitude exercise, and the first 100 days. And I'd really love some feedback. Please feel free to make comments in Facebook and our special Tea and Scones page. Just so you know, yep, I haven't got scones today, but I've got some muffin. And probably by now, seeing I'm the only one chatting, my cup of tea's, yep, it's cold. So anyway, look forward to seeing you next week. Next week I've got Vanessa Jansen. She's got some great tools and capabilities from the financial side of your life, and look forward to inviting her. She's coming along next Monday, 10 a.m. on Tea and Scones. Look forward to seeing you then.